Trainees, welcome to the Sunday session of the Ring Fit Adventure Kickstart 3. This is another yoga or rest session for you, alright? So we're going to have your workouts if you want to do them, but also if you don't want to do it and you want to have a rest day, that's totally cool as well. We're also going to have a fun fit fact about flexibility. I actually took a few takes to say that because all the F's, I messed it up and it's been a long day. So if you haven't rested at all, you'll have done 6 days in a row, and I really would advocate you having a full rest day. Now, I'm a big advocate for recovery, just ask any of my PT clients, but as I spoke about on Thursday, you do get more benefits when you recover. That's where your body makes its progress, and so I really would recommend having at least one full rest day per week. So today, if you haven't done it already, should be your rest day. But if you are going to work out, I've got programs for you. It's going to have a very similar vibe. To Thursday, and in the case of the battle focused trainees and the custom focused trainees, it is going to be the exact same session, just to help promote having a rest day instead. Of course, I will still talk about it, but otherwise, I've got some fun little flexibility sessions for you, so make sure you warm up, get your water and towel ready, and let's get our flexibility on. Okay, one more stretch this week. If you're into it, just focus on breathing throughout. These are quite similar to Thursday. Warrior one pose, chair pose and hinge pose start us out with different body parts moving, but all keeping the legs still. Standing forward fold is a progression for hinge pose. Keep your hands in position and move solely from the hips. Revolved crescent lunge pose should be familiar now, as should warrior 2. The pectoral stretch should feel lovely today after 2 days of hard work. Warrior one pose comes in again, but can turn into tree pose if you need it. It retains the side bend, so it makes sense. Chair pose also returns but can turn into the tricky fan pose. Ensure your legs are in a decent position but don't force them above your range of motion. Feel the stretch but not too much. Standing forward fold, tree pose and warrior 2 close us out. Great work, trainees. Battle focused trainees, this is the same session as Thursday. Chair pose and warrior 1 pose are great beginner moves for your day. The most important ones we want to note here are your boat pose and your warrior 3 pose. Boat pose is like a V-sit and requires retracting the arms and pushing the legs out at the same time. It's tough, but you can do it. The hardest part, in my opinion, is the return to the beginning of the movement. That's where it's quite difficult, so make sure you don't overstretch or injure your core here. Warrior 3 pose can be tough as well. Fold over the torso and try to keep your spine in line with the rear leg. Tree pose helps with the single leg balance here, and a slight flex in the knee can be really useful for stability. I would recommend doing those 3 at the end of your session, but otherwise just have a great stretch and enjoy your day. This one is the same as Thursday. Have a warm-up jog with beginner before hitting warrior 1 pose. Get your breathing under control and bend to the side before bending all the way over for standing forward fold. Bending, again, the name of the game here. We've got hinge pose before revolved crescent lunge pose gets you twisting in the transverse plane. Warrior 1 pose repeats but can be progressed to tree pose, which has great ankle stability benefits. Chair pose brings a smooth arc with your shoulders, stretching the deltoid muscles well before hinge pose again. If you would like though, this can be upgraded to warrior 3 pose. Warrior 2 stretches the arms, hips and chest. Ensure to point your feet in the correct directions for proper hip position, which is going to be optimal for your hip stretch. And then end with a run through beginner. Well done. Demons, we got one more go round. Tree pose starts us out, forcing us to focus on that ankle stability. If you just need to focus on the ankle, you can move the arm instead of doing a side bend. Hinge pose is next, stretching the deltoid and hamstrings. This moves to standing forward fold. Chair pose is next, and you'll be familiar with this move, building tension in your quads. Move it to another round of tree pose if you wish. Warrior 1 pose, revolved crescent lunge pose and hinge pose roll in as your next moves, although you can upgrade hinge pose to warrior 2 if you want some great stretches at the hips and chest. Overhead bend comes in next, but you can turn that into the warrior 3. Breathe steadily, maintain your core tension throughout. Knee to chest is your next one, coming as a precursor to boat pose. We then finish out with tree pose and fan pose. Congratulations, you completed your week. Alright, that is your Sunday session complete. Well done everyone. That is a full week done, and that is more of a flexibility focused session. And part of flexibility is stretching properly, and that's where the fit fact comes in. I want to talk to you about the optimal stretching time when you're doing a static stretch. So just so you know, if you're doing stretching and you're warming up, you want to make it dynamic so it actually warms the muscles up. If you are cooling down, having a static stretch is better. That allows you to counteract any shortening of the muscle through contraction, alright? And that's going to help you lengthen your muscles overall. But there is specific timings you need to think about. So what happens is when you stretch, you suddenly feel like it's kind of quite tight and you can't go any further. That is because of the reaction of something called the Golgi tendon organ. And essentially that tells your body, whoa, we need to stop, because otherwise we might hurt or rip our muscles. because we think we're going too far. Now, if you're holding your muscles in that static stretch position, after about 15 seconds, you'll feel a little bit less intense. And that is because the Golgi tendon has gone, oh, we're actually doing this on purpose. We're not in danger. We can relax a little bit. At that point, you can stretch a little bit further. And only a little bit further, because you will then feel like, oh God, I can't go any further. That is you at your limit range of motion. And at that point, you only want to hold it for another 15 seconds. So it's essentially 30 seconds in total, with more intensity after the first 15 seconds. It is diminishing returns after 30 seconds, apart from in specific cases with specific demographics, i.e. the older generation, I believe 65 plus, have more benefits for doing like a minute than you would if you were younger. Okay, so you only want to do a static stretch for 30 seconds, but after the first 15, you increase it slightly, make it a little bit more intense, and that is going to give you the maximum amount of flexibility benefits in the shortest amount of time, essentially. So something worth noting, all right? And that's the Fit Fact, that's your workout, and that is the Sunday session of the Ring Fit Adventure Kickstart 3. So there's not going to be any more daily videos. You're going to go back to Monday's session, going to go back to that leg session, and then you're going to make your adaptations. But obviously, if you've already got it programmed as your custom mode, you can just go in tomorrow, make a couple of updates, and then go into your session, nice and easy. So there's no need to return to the video unless you particularly want to. You want to hear my wonderful voice, or you want to see what progressions you can make and tailor something that works better for you. All good. So that's how the future weeks of this program is going to work. Now, we are going to come back on the 31st of January. I'm going to have another video which is going to have your tests, and then it's going to have some information for what you should do for the future, some ideas on how to progress your fitness journey, and yeah, it's just going to be really good. So thank you so much for watching the Ring Fit Kickstart 3. I'll see you tomorrow for Monday, even though I've already recorded it and you've already seen it. It's going to be great. You're going to see that tomorrow, and it's going to be good. I'm going to be with you the whole way. Just make sure you comment or jump in the Discord if you've got any questions. And yeah, just thank you so much. I'll see you on January the 31st for the next live, well, it's not going to be a live video, but I'll see you on January the 31st for the next recorded video. But yeah, awesome stuff. Thank you so much to my patrons like Rain, Sick Hippie, and Mikey Bananas for the wonderful support they give through Patreon. If you want a more standardized personal training program, please jump in the description and go to my online worldwide training service. Thank you. I'm Master Trainer Peter, and I'll see you in the next video.